So to go faster in business and in life, we obviously need to be a lot smarter about a lot of things. We need to be more efficient, more effective. We've got to plug more things in, do more avenues. But there's actually one philosophy change that most of us need to get our heads around and implement to make sure that we can go faster, grow, and have more impact. So let's get stuck in right now and learn from a very, very astute businessman about how we can be better at this ourselves. So when we first start to look at this in itself, to go faster, add lightness, it probably starts to spark a bit of a conundrum in our mindset about how does that actually work? Because what we tend to always do is we tend to always add more complexity. We add more team members, we add more expenditure, we add another IT product, we add another consult room, we add more marketing, we add another social media platform, and the list goes on. So we tend to add and add and add and add in our pursuit to grow, scale, and ultimately go faster. But if we stop and have a look at a car company called Lotus, they've always been a pioneer and prided themselves on doing things differently. Now, one of the keys to what Lotus actually does is that they fundamentally have a much smaller and sleeker car and production line. But what the powerful part of this, and I'm using the word power very carefully there, is that they redefined the playbook many years ago. Because what so many car companies were doing were they were trying to add power. So the whole mentality was we need more power to make the car go faster. So car companies were adding more power and adding more power. But Colin, I'm trying to think of his surname, Chapman it was Colin Chapman, one of the heads and founders of Lotus, actually had this fascination with lightness and reducing weight. Because his whole mentality, and he famously said that while everyone's out there to get more power because power makes a car go faster in a straight line, we actually know that reducing the weight will actually make the car go faster everywhere. And so their whole principle has been pioneering in and around the part of let's reduce the weight of the car, reduce the number of moving parts and the number of parts in general, and as a net result, we're going to have a car that is ultimately faster. Now, we could all start, throwing our ideas and thoughts around about which car's faster. Is it the Bugatti or the Ferraris or the Porsche or the Lotus or the Lamborghini and all these type of things? That's not the point. The point is they took a different philosophy to actually getting a faster car. While everyone works significantly on making the engine better, bigger, more brutal, more power, more kilowatts, is it at the engine or the wheelbase and all the other technicalities, their whole premise has been let's actually go faster by adding lightness. And when you think about it, it's actually very, very smart and a great way for us to all be able to learn how we can get ahead in our own businesses. So rather than trying to add on and add and add, add a new service, add a new program, add a new person, add more expenditure, add marketing, add. What if we actually realize that we could probably make some exceptionally smart business moves by reducing the amount we've added? Actually take things away. We reduce that lightness. And when we stop and think about this, even fundamentally from a practitioner point of view with our own clients, I wonder how many times we should actually be addressing what we do with each client. How many times could we, and maybe you're sitting there going, no, I've got all this taken care of, and that's great if you do. But there is probably numerous times that we would be able to look back at clients, maybe in the past months, maybe in the past years. Maybe we've moved on and we've got 20 years experience and we know we're good enough for this. Okay, well, let's park all that. But if we're honest about it, there's probably numerous times we could sit back and say, we should have actually given the person less to do. Maybe we actually had them doing too many exercises, too much repetitions or structure to their actual rehabilitation process. And when we stop and think about it, it reigns true for practitioners working with clients, and it also reigns true for business owners trying to move the business forward. We're always trying to add. We're trying to do more. We're trying to add that new marketing funnel, another automation, another tag, another marketing campaign, another social media post, another email blast. We keep adding and adding and adding, which ultimately starts to slow things down because we can't be efficient and effective with everything. We can't actually just keep adding more and expect to go faster and grow more. We have to actually stop and think about the way of redesigning this so we actually create more lightness. How many things do you think we could look at our business right now? How many avenues or tasks or marketing or projects or people or whatever it happens to be that we could actually, in fact, reduce and add more lightness? There's a nice oxymoron, isn't it? Adding more lightness to our business and team or marketing right now to actually enable ourselves to go further, faster, more consistently and more predictably. And it's exactly the same with clients. How many times could we actually add lightness, aka get them to do less than what they're doing, or maybe drop 2 or 3 exercises and just get them to do this one thing instead? A lot of the time, you'd actually find that if it makes it simpler for them, they're probably more likely to be accountable for delivering what we ultimately want them to achieve as well. So rather than it being a hindrance or things just being too hard or I don't have enough time, by actually thinking about that premise of adding lightness, we would actually give them less. We would give them less, but it becomes more efficient and effective. They become more accountable, and as a net result, we've added lightness, like we've given them less, but we actually get more from them as a net result. So it's a little challenge that I literally spoke with my own management team probably an hour ago about this exact premise. Colin Chapman's idea with Lotus of to go faster everywhere, add lightness. And fundamentally, it's true. How many times could we sit down and look at our businesses right now? And that's what I've just challenged my own team to be able to do right now. We're going to have a chat about it again tomorrow, and we're going to actually sit down and start to go, right, well, what is it that we can add lightness to? Again, I love using that, sort of complete oxymoron. We're going to add more lightness, right? It's what else can we look to subtract, take away? How else can we be more lean? How can we be more efficient, right? Lotus knows that they're actually more environmentally friendly than the vast majority of other car companies, if not the best at it. Maybe Tesla might disagree with that, but it's not just about the fuels. It's about the fact that to make a Lotus is a heck of a lot more environmentally friendly than what it is to make a Tesla, right? So you sit there and you go, what other impactful and more beneficial avenues for the world around us or the community around us could we actually be now looking at achieving because we've added that lightness? Because we've fundamentally looked and gone, rather than trying to ramp up the marketing and do 15 more funnels, 5 more marketing strategies and, build and grow and just add more and more and more, which ultimately is more complexity, more challenges, more cogs, more seizing of, cogs and wheels and machines, etc. How can we actually step back from that, be more efficient, effective, add lightness, and as a net result, have more impact, be better and more beneficial to more people in more different ways by adding that lightness? And it's a great challenge that I've just put out to my team. It's a great challenge that I'm going to actually over the next couple of days talk to my other companies and boards and that even overseas and start to actually go, how can we utilize the same lesson from Lotus and how can we actually go faster, have more growth and scale by adding lightness in certain areas? And I think it's a challenge for all of us. So I would want to put the challenge out there to you right now as well. What can you sit down with your team on today and actually start to go, where can we add lightness, right? How can we be more efficient, effective on things? How can we actually stop adding, but actually look to add lightness? How can we take away from things or reduce other parts to be more streamlined so we're more agile, more powerful, and more fast in all areas rather than just trying to add more grunt to the motor and go faster in the straights, just like Lotus realized many years ago. So there's a challenge for you, just like it's a challenge for us. I think if you get stuck in, you'll realize that you can do things a lot smoother, faster, better, etc., and have a lot more impact and benefit in ways that you're not thinking about right now by utilizing that premise of to go faster, add lightness. Let me know how you go. I'd love to be able to explore this with you more, because I think there's massive amounts of power for all of us to be able to go faster, grow, scale, etc., by adding that lightness in all avenues of our lives. I'll talk to you again very soon. Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to another episode of the Profitable Practice Podcast. I would love nothing more than for you to be able to leave a review. I get so much joy out of listening and reading the amazing things that you guys say about this. So please subscribe to our channel, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Let's get some more fantastic information out there so all of us can grow the industry together. Cheers for now.